whether we wanted to or not, we're going to have to see the pandemic as the primary driver of risk for 2021, but not the kind of pandemic that we were looking at last year where we were tracking infection rates. What we're going to be tracking for 2021 are vaccination rates. And you're absolutely right to say that this is going to be incredibly fragmented. I mean, outside the European Union, there are only 6 other countries that have pre-booked enough vaccine to cover their entire population. And beyond that, there's only the COVAX facility, which has 92 participants, but COVAX says that it can only really start to vaccinate around 20% of its member states, of their population. So what's going to happen in 2021 is we're going to see the development of have and have not countries when it comes to the vaccine rollout. And the more advanced markets will be able to exit the pandemic quicker and in a more robust fashion, but there'll be countries around the world that will either have very limited vaccine capabilities or will have absolutely no vaccine at all in 2021. And the challenge for business is that big international companies are going to have a footprint across all of these different types of countries, the fast movers, the medium movers, and the ones that won't move at all. And that's an incredible amount of pressure, and that's an incredible demand on company structures that are trying to function across all of these different types of scenarios.
And, interesting you talk about what this means for companies, and given the fact that many companies operate in multiple jurisdictions. One line that stuck out to me in your report this year, underpinning the risks that you see, the danger of missing the rebound in a year of multi-speed recovery is a top risk for business in the coming year. How do businesses navigate this environment that remains highly uncertain, but also minimize the risk that they miss out on what could be a bumper year?
But you're absolutely right. So at the very beginning of the pandemic in sort of March, April last year, we were sitting in on the crisis management calls for all of our clients. And what we saw is that companies that could keep one eye on the crisis management aspect of the pandemic and another eye on ongoing and future business commitments were the companies that were able to manage these 2 speeds most effectively. And so for 2021, it's essentially the same thing. You're going to have to, at the same time, juggle the crisis that's happening in the remaining elements of the pandemic, but absolutely not miss the upside. Everyone understands that probably starting in the second half of the year, there will be a recovery. But for companies that can't get into recovery mode, they're going to miss it. And that's a significant organizational risk for the second half of the year.